Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gamer's Ledge. I am your host, and tonight, Dungeon Master Mark. Welcome, everybody, to the stream. I apparently have something open somewhere. I'm getting some feedback. Let me fix that real quick. There we go. Sorry about that. So, we are actually returning to live D&D tonight, moving forward. So, we'll be live on Mondays with D&D. And I'd like to welcome everyone. We do have a comment that Matt, our community manager, is putting in the channel from time to time, basically saying we're not going to interact a lot with chat, mainly because we're kind of focused on telling the story. However, that doesn't mean that you can't be part of the show. You totally can. You can come in and lurk. You can participate through community points as well. Look for the items in the bottom left that say TTRPG session items, and you can affect the story directly. But where we left off last time with the menagerie is, despite having only a few days to put together a party, they ended up throwing a massive, successful, lucrative party that drew thousands of people to the harbor port of Waterdeep, where everyone got their first look at a bronze dragon up close, and they celebrated Quark's birthday, even though it wasn't Quark's birthday. So they basically lied to the entire city, and so far have gotten away with it. But this was the first of 3 different parties, a party gauntlet, if you will, that the group was to embark upon, and so now they head to their second party, the pre-party, and let's catch up with the menagerie. Hello, menagerie. Introduce yourself, if you would, and who you're playing.
My name is Sean, and I am playing Muthalus, the Noble Thief.
I'm Mitchell. I'm playing Dryzen, the Alchemist Artificer.
My name is Daniel. I'm playing the Zakishu, the Yarntine Monk.
You're on mute, Matt.
Muted, sir. Of course, I'm on mute because, I'm trying to not make noise. Hi, I'm Matt, and I am playing Quark, the Aarakocra Ranger.
Hi, I'm Ben, and I'm playing Orwin, the Loxodon Fighter.
And where we left off, you guys had reconvened at Trollskull Manor, I believe, because a good chunk of you had to go get different outfits. And see, I asked about that beforehand, and everybody said it was good.
Maybe it's just other people can't. I don't hear them high enough over it.
Okay, there we
I think
go.
everybody else has headphones on.
He's got headphones on.
Oh.
Yeah, I turned it down a little bit. Hopefully that's better.
Perfect.
So yeah, where we had left off, half of you were... Well, actually, it was 3/4 of you needed to get new clothes, and you had done so. But in doing so, you now owe a favor to a clothing merchant that may ask something of you that you might not be prepared for. You know he has shady connections, so we'll see how that works out. But you have managed to all return to Trollskull Alley. The ones that had not needed such returned there with the bounty of the pirating that you did, basically, on the fly. The fleecing of the nobles of Waterdeep.
You can blame that all on me. Nobody else got it.
I've always maintained that the nobility of Waterdeep is a very serious but very malleable game, and you have just moved the menagerie up through the ranks of that game quite sincerely. But that also may have painted a target on your back. So
I'll deal with it.
There's always a cost to good things.
So at this point, everyone is in their finery, their reds and golds and green livery colors of spring. You have about an hour before the next party, and you know it's at Remalia Haven. I don't want to misspeak. Stand by 1 second. I believe it's Remalia Haven Tree, I believe, but I want to make sure. Oh no. You know when you pop out the window and so a quick reminder, the Medallion of Thoughts works 3 times a day and it lasts for 30 seconds. But will allow you to read surface thoughts of any one person. However, it is also affected by the presence of other people, so you may want to try and, if you're going to try and use it, you may want to try and get them somewhat alone or away from everybody else. So just FYI.
Healer.
I think it's you.
I will attune to the medallion.
Very good. That takes you 10 minutes to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you are now attuned to the medallion. How are you going to get to the party, by the way?
Let's order up a coach.
Okay. That's fine. Or at least it will be once I figure out why none of my stuff is suddenly working. Hold on. Okay. Got it. Yes, Remalia Haven Tree. I was right, yes. So, you can get a coach for, call it 5 silver. That'll carry everybody. And you'll get there about right on time.
Yeah, there's 5 of us, so silver apiece.
Does anyone want to do anything else while the coach is coming, or...
Should we discuss how what kind of questions we can ask to figure out who's a drow in disguise?
And as you ask that question, the blue spark sucks in Leo.
Dang it.
And Dryzen, it is at this moment that you notice that sitting next to Quark is a glowing, undulating blue spark of energy that literally just sucked somebody in like they were going to warp drive.
That is mildly disconcerting. Does it do that? Does it do that often?
More often than we'd like. Did it just take Rio, or did it also take Itali?
And Itali, yes.
I have people survived this process?
Most of them.
Usually.
I
It
did.
seems
All
to
right.
happen. It seems to happen when someone's mind begins to wander. Try not to let that happen.
Stay focused.
I will try to avoid that then.
I look Quark dead in the eye. You're next.
Can I roll to see if I know anything about the blue ball?
Sure. What are you talking, like history, or are you talking are you like trying
Like,
to,
have I heard about the ball before, or is there has there been whispers of the ball?
so you don't need to roll. No. You've never heard of the ball. In fact, you don't know how you didn't see it until just now.
Fair enough.
Because now that it's like you know how you have some things that are like right in your peripheral vision,
Mm-hmm.
and you think there's something there, but you turn your head and there's nothing there. Yeah, this time when you turn your head, it's there and it stays. So that's basically,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, you just can't unsee it.
Any connection to the Domino Man?
No.
No?
Domino Man, was for one purpose and one purpose only, and I believe that's to take his underling back to whatever.
Yeah, but I think he
Realm.
came out of the blue sphere, didn't he?
It did come out of the blue spark.
Well, he seemed like a
It ex-
god, so if he wanted to go through the blue spark, he can go through the blue spark.
I'd rather not
Exploited the
at this
spark.
juncture. Rather not.
I mean, do you do anything, or you know, do you try and interact with it? Or are you just observing it? What do you do?
I'm just gonna stare at it suspiciously for a bit.
Okay, fair enough. Suddenly, Dryzen has a similar look that Quark had in Oakhaven. Most of the time, the blue spark was around him. That works. So within a small amount of time, does anyone have any other actions? I don't want to cut anybody off from
You
doing
want to discuss
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
what can we do to try to figure out who the Drow in disguise is? That's what we're looking for, right? Is a Drow in disguise a spy?
Yes, that's what you were told. Yes.
I mean, we could mention the Spider Queen and see if somebody perks. If we had a bard, he could tell a story about it.
Well, I'm sorry. Could you guys fill me in a bit on what's going on here?
Quark?
Yes. We have been invited to a party, which turns out to be Merc's pre-birthday party. I
get the premise, sir.
People. But there is concern that there is a drow of some undercover nature that will be in disguise there for reasons unknown. Generally, my understanding is these reasons are understood to probably not be good. So we have been entreated to try to uncover this potential party pooper, as they seem to say, and deter. I honestly don't remember what we were supposed to do with it once we found it, but I'm sure it will figure itself out once identified.
Do you know if they have any connection to the Darth?
Anyone else know of any such connection? I don't believe we were told of anything.
I'm looking who's here. Dan, if you're around, make me a history check. And you need at least a 20.
Wowzer.
That's not helpful.
Dan, if you could make me a history check. Yeah. Nope. Everyone looks at you like you've just sprouted another head when you say that.
It seems you guys are unaware of the Darth. Granted, I don't know much myself, even after a year and a half of being in the city. So,
How many organizations does this city have? Dear Lord.
one too many, my friend. One too
All
many.
of them, it would seem.
Well, I guess
yes, basically that's it. We have been entreated to uncover this individual, and we have the amulet which Mythilus has, which allows us to read surface thoughts for 30 seconds of one individual, but we only have 3 charges for this evening, so we need to be very cautious of our use of it.
Fair enough. Well, I shall do what I can to assist you.
Unless this party goes past midnight, in which case we get another 3.
For a second, I thought he was going to say we were going to turn into pumpkins.
I also thought that, but no. and as far as I know, maybe Quark actually does believe that's going to work. So I'm not gonna poo-poo it.
He's not super experienced with magic.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So yeah, maybe could that. It's a running theory. So, okay. Anything else before the carriage arrives and whisks you away?
Apparently, nobody has any ideas on how to try to sort out who the spy is.
I will.
Do
I
we
know
need to change clothes? I don't remember if we
I
changed
I believe we already changed into our finery. I believe.
You did.
Okay. All right.
You came straight from the tailor shop.
Tailors.
Yeah.
I will talk with Mert and anyone else, and see what information I can gather once we get there.
I don't believe that Mert and Volo will be at the pre-party.
They're not going to the free party. Okay.
I believe this is just mostly invited guests and strangers. I think that Mert and Volo... Isn't it Volo's birthday party?
It is Volo's birthday party.
Right, it's not Mert's
Not
birthday
Mert's.
party, but Mert will definitely be partying. I don't think anybody that we know will actually be there. I think they're part of the inner circle of Volo's friends, or however you'd say.
See.
But presumably,
we may be on our own to try to
Then-
suss out the spy.
I will. I have a knack for finding out information, so I'll see what I can find.
And keep in mind, also, that you were given this as a Harper quest.
Which means magic items are involved.
No, not necessarily. But
Okay.
the Harpers are the ones that requested the menagerie to do this. So,
Right.
but this was the first one that you didn't get from Mert directly. So
Gotcha.
you were given this by 3 strings at the yawning portal. As you went there, and then Itali loudly announced, "So tell us about our quest from the Harpers." If you recall that,
Yeah,
those of you that were here.
he's always been very subtle.
Extremely.
so presumably, if the spy's hired, like, would it be worth going to the guild or trying to figure out from wherever he would be hired from? Like, where would someone go to hire a spy?
He may not be hired. This could be part of espionage, more politics from the Drow trying to, I don't know, stir up trouble, as they're known to do.
Yeah, but I'm sure they have a purpose, right? Like, why would he pick here instead of somewhere else? You know, even if it is for the Drow. And is there any way that we can gain information from that end?
Neithalos does an exaggerated shrug.
I'm afraid that we may be going to the wrong place first.
Well, we only have an hour to get there. There's not any.
I don't think we have
time.
much in the way of leeway in time as it is.
Research or background checks or such.
Okay.
And to be fair, the paper bird did specifically say that you were to attend this party to suss out the drow in disguise, which is why you were added to the list.
I forget. Do we know if I forgot Mitchell's characters and I can't read it at the moment.
Dryzen.
Dryzen. Has there been any indication that he is Harper associated thus far?
Well, other than Mert was the one who introduced me to you guys.
Right. I mean, you'd be aware, but whether or not you are a member or simply a contractor, so to speak.
I think you'd have to ask him that.
Right. Okay. I didn't want to go through that if we had already done it, was my point.
Yes, no.
Is he wearing a purple cravat?
I am not.
Couldn't tell you.
So I don't know anything about drow, right? Or how to identify drow or what they do or anything like that. So
I'm not even sure you know what a drow is.
I don't.
I would think that would be a race you might actually
Oh, no, actually, yeah, no, Dan's right. You would actually know what a drow is.
More than most of the rest
Yep,
of us.
yep.
You'd actually be more intimately aware of what they are than the rest of us, it sounds like.
You probably have a pretty good idea.
Because there are drow / dark elves in,
Ravnica?
yeah. Or at least planeswalkers who are.
All right, I guess we just go to the party and chat people up, see what we can figure out, and roll the dice and hope for the best.
Zek, was there any other actions or thoughts about uncovering the spy since you're back now that you wanted? No?
This isn't a mission of mine. I don't belong to this secret society.
Are you going to help?
Having to get dressed up is not something Zek is looking forward to do. He'll go, but he has no idea what they're searching for, why they're searching for it, or why they would need to stop a drow.
Okay.
In this city, who accepts Orwin and himself as part of the local Fufra, why we would need to find a drow. He thinks that's a little bit racist.
Got it.
He's a spy.
Oh, so okay.
Okay. Well, in that case, the carriage comes. It takes you to the. Why can't I know? Haven Tree Estate. The Haven Tree Estate is over on the west side, I believe.
So this group right here, is it only me and Quark that are actually Harpers? I'll ask Dresden straight out. Are you a Harper?
Wait, alright. Was that directed at me? Sorry, I spaced.
Yes, correct. Oh, you're
Okay,
lucky you didn't get sucked into the blue spark.
I was about to say, be careful. You'll be blue sparks.
No, I am not an official member of the Harpers.
Yeah,
But I am
it's
close.
Just your report.
Wait, what?
It's just right now. It's just Nicholas and Foot. They're members of the Harpers. To answer your question, Sean.
All right.
Oh dear.
So,
Yeah. Oh dear, indeed.
great.
Well, I tried to, on the carriage ride over, I will explain what our primary mission is in doing this, and if you guys would be willing to help, try to figure out who the spy in the party is, that would be great. If not, enjoy yourselves at the pre-party.
I will proffer what assistance I can.
Thank you.
So, the carriage arrives at the Haven Tree Estate. You can see that there is a main living building, and there is also what would best be described as a separate event ballroom. Like, it's the size of a warehouse. It's a huge ballroom. There's probably 400 people in attendance here, if you had to guess.
Pre-party?
At the pre-party. Her manor, or her villa, as she called, or as it was referred to, is on Delzarin Street between Vazor and Brondor's Way in the North Ward. You don't need to know exactly where that is, but just in case you ever want to know, we can go back to it. And there is security checking invitations and people that are on the guest list, and they don't even blink, and they don't even ask you. All of you are admitted into the giant ballroom immediately. The things you notice is that there are, even though it is a large marble ballroom, there are trees growing on the edges of the room and then spreading like canopies up on the ceiling, and there is foliage up there. So it looks like the trees are growing out of the top of the ballroom, but you're fairly sure they stop at the ceiling. So whether it's an illusion or whether it's actual, you'd have to check that out. But you also do see fireflies everywhere throughout the entire thing, and the lighting is as if it was shining through the canopy of trees. And there is music, there are harpists, there is dancing, and there are people all about. And Remalia Haventree, give me 1 second. One second. Does anyone have actions before I move on? You've all just been admitted.
Does all the nature and stuff, does it seem to be an enchantment or is it natural?
Hard to say. You're going to have to actually investigate it if you want to find out.
Okay.
It is quite, I guess the best way to say it is quite an enchanting sight. Let's see.
I'm a dumb bird.
Do you go over and peck at it?
We'll start pecking the wood and sniffing it and seeing if it seems legit.
Legit flies up to it and
You're pretty. I mean, it actually is there, but when you get really close to it, it has a kind of translucent property to it. You're guessing it's some kind of magic or enchantment or something along those lines. But it is not a hallucination. It does appear to be real-ish, if that makes sense.
It's physically present.
It's physically present, but probably not real.
But if it is magic and illusion magic of some sort, that will make our mages detect magic difficult to discern any magical investments that another individual may be using.
That is 100% true. Probably. Depends how close they are, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, true.
As you all arrive into the room and Quark goes over and starts pecking at the the foliage, a female sun elf dressed in a long burgundy dress that goes down and actually changes color into a dark green and then changes color at the very bottom into shreds of gold, almost like mirroring the branches of a tree but in reverse because it's at the bottom. She approaches you and she eyes all of you up and down as if calculating something. And then she smiles broadly and she says, well, if it isn't the menagerie, business and adventuring party extraordinaires led by the noble Quark, leader of the bird persons, and the menagerie itself. You all look exquisite. Everything I've heard about you appears to be true. We are honored to have you at my pre-party, Lord Quark and his menagerie. And she bows, smiling.
Well, you are most welcome, milady, though the structure of our group is more flat than that. I will, on behalf of the group, accept your thanks and welcome, and we are here to, enjoy the party and hopefully be of great service to you.
Yes. As you know, the pre-party will last for several hours, and then we will have portals that will take you to Volo's birthday party.
Yes, that sounds wonderful. Thank you very much.
She actually sidles up to you, Quark, and enfolds her arms around one of your wings, like at the top, at the shoulder, And she says, "Is it true that you had a dragon and the unmasked Lord of Waterdeep at your birthday party, Lord Quark?"
Why, yes, those things, by some amazing coincidence, did all happen. Yes.
How interesting. You must be a person of great import.
I'm but a humble servant of this group in this great city. I'm just honored to be here, and
Oh my, and humble too.
I am in the background just trying to hold in the laughter.
She actually starts dragging you off in a direction away from the others, and she says, "Tell me, do you rule the bird persons with an iron hand, or is it more of a democracy?" And she starts leading you away towards Punch.
well,
I don't actually know that any of this isn't true.
I do.
Eisen has been intrigued as to the nature of this bird person, who's apparently a lord that he hadn't been priorly informed about.
The Lord of the Bird People.
The Lord of the Bird People, yes. Though he is cynical. He's a little bit cynical. Of his
Oh, this
little-
is fantastic. I
2
love
weeks I've been waiting for this. 2 weeks.
I love what's been done to Quark's reputation. JR is going to be so mad he missed this.
oh boy. Oh wow. Okay. Well, it's a fairly democratic setup. It's less of a lordship and more of a guidance, of mentorship, if you will. We have a small council, and I am but a voice on that council. We to take very very keen interest in the affairs of our folk. I do hope they are getting along well without me. I did leave a bit abruptly.
She says, "Now, I have never met a bird person before, so please forgive my ignorance if I make a misstep. But are there certain dietary considerations that we should know about that you would prefer?"
We do hunt nature. Usually we are a bit carnivores, I would say. I suppose is a polite way of putting it. We are hunters, but I have been able to eat pretty much most of the things around here. You do have the most delicious rats in this part of the realm.
You actually feel her unsidle from your wing at that point, and she says, "Oh, I hadn't considered that. Make me a charisma check
Oh Lord,
with advantage."
with advantage. Okay. Charisma.
Say it's a joke because you've never seen anybody else eat a rat. Oh God.
Oh. Good. Come on, click.
She says, should I have one of my servants round up some rats, my lord?"
No, my dear lord. No. This. I jest. There was an incident, and rats were involved, but they were very large rats. But no, my dear. The spread of food here is more than adequate. The chalices look a little difficult to drink out of, given a beak, but I've managed to find a way to take care of things thus far. Everything here is perfectly fine, my lady.
Well, I am glad to hear that, and she kind of residles up next to you upon learning that it was a joke. I'm going to leave you in her good care for a moment and see what the rest of you are going to choose to do.
I'm going to begin to mingle.
Very good. Roll me a die 10. So you begin speaking. You've been kind of mingling and going back and forth, and eventually you find yourself in front of and speaking with a pale human noble with a short haircut and a silver locket. Give me either persuasion or trying to decide what I want you to do. Give me a... Why are you being difficult?
I'm not. I'm prepared to roll whichever one you choose.
What are... I can't see the sheets for some reason. What are the other... It's persuasion or...
Performance, perception, religion,
Performance or...
deception.
Yeah. Performance or deception. Or persuasion or deception. Your choice.
They both amount to the same thing.
Yes, but the meanings are different. Are you trying to trick this person into information, or are you being sincere?
Does he have the look of intelligence about him, or is his eyes like spread wide?
He looks like he does not want to be here, is the short answer.
Good thing I was being honest. It's terrible honesty.
Oh, no, with advantage, so
Oh.
so roll one more time. Just normally, and then we'll... Yeah, okay. Yeah, so you learn his name is Tevin Lambros. And he's here as a favor to his sister, Tira. And he, as you talk to him, he thinks that all of these people are insane and they're hedonistic, and the only reason he's here is because his sister insists that he can do some real good for the city by courting these people's favor.
And what does your sister? To what ends would your sister like you to court the favor of
Well,
the high and mighty?
We run several businesses, but we also fund several charities to help the poor, the weak, the infirmed, the people who can no longer work and help themselves. And she tells me if I come here and I rub shoulders with these people, then perhaps we can gain patronage for some of our charities. And thus...
Give you a suggestion?
Sure.
The look of disdain you have for the people here may dissuade them from trying to help you in your charitable endeavors.
He thinks for a moment, and you can see his expression visibly change. He says, "You're right, I hadn't really thought of that. And I wasn't trying to be off-putting. It's just a world I do not understand."
You and me both. The world of Waterdeep seems much busier than the world I'm accustomed to, so we're both making our way through these unknown waters.
He clasps your shoulder and extends a hand to you. He said, "I did not get your name, friend."
Mithalas Uthavuldra.
"And what do you do in the city?"
I am now part owner of Troll Skull Manor, and just adventuring, dealing with life as it comes.
His eyes go wide, and he says, "You're with Quark?"
Yes, I'm with Lord Quark of the Bird People.
That I just was able to catch the end of the ceremonies going on at the docks, but by Lord, you just threw one of the largest parties this city has ever seen, and yet you're here? You grace us all with your presences.
It is us who are enjoying the parties, the peoples of all persuasions in these fair lands. Thank you for being so gracious and inviting in your fair city.
Dryson. Roll me a d10. Or what are you doing specifically?
I guess I would begin with kind of investigating, see if there's anything that's anyone or anything that's kind of out of place, or just seeing what I can like hear from passing conversations as I'm moving through the room.
Make me an investigation check.
Do I just click on that? Did that do it?
Yes. Yes, it did. You basically get that even though there's about 400 people here, there's really only about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's really like 6 epicenters of the party. Everybody has groups, and those groups are mingling with other groups, etc. But if you were able to see the party as a series of lights, there would be about 6 that shine the brightest.
Okay.
And some of them are celebrities. One of them is the hostess. Some of them are business people. But those are the people that everyone are talking about, and everyone is attempting to orbit and become a part of orbiting. If you could say that the whole thing was, a gravity epicenter, those 6 would be the largest bodies that everyone's trying to get in and speak with and be around. I think you're on mute.
Nope, there we are. Okay.
Yeah.
So Quark's with the hostess.
Yes.
So are there any around those epicenters? Do I notice anyone that's not really talking, but just kind of either hovering or just kind of being near any of the orbits without intense purpose, I guess, kind of?
No, you don't.
Okay, so everyone there around each of the orbits seems okay.
And it's people trying to play the game to
Right.
up the, but and that's what you were looking for, is people not trying to play the game, and there is none of that.
Right.
So
Right.
on that level, everything looks pretty kosher at this point.
Right. Okay. I guess are there any of the 6 figures that look accessible at the moment, I guess?
Yes. Remelia Haventree has just drug Quark over to Tarkus Forrester, who is a novelist. Well, he's a carpenter who writes in his spare time. And Romelia is just going off about how she read his latest horror novel, The Serpent of Salinger, and just fell in love with it. And she wanted to introduce Lord Quark of the Bird Persons to Tarkus Forrester.
Okay. I guess I will kind of approach that area and see if I can see if I can skillfully extradite Quark from his companion.
So I'm all for you making a roll for that, but I also want to know how you're going to do it. What are you going to say?
That is an excellent question. I haven't gotten that
I
far.
I will come back to you. I will come back to you.
Okay.
Zikusu.
Where on the city map is this house?
It is at Delzerin Street in the North Ward. Let me see if I can find it and ping it for you. One moment. That's not going to help.
Hole in Mendwiber or Diamond and Flint.
It's between Vazor and Bronder's Way. I gotta find which screen has this. There it is. Okay. Close that and I'll come back to it.
You said what was the name of the street?
It's Delzerin Street.
Okay.
And
So
it's
it's on the corner of Belzerin Street and Bronzer's Way. There's that big house right here.
yes. I am pulling up. I had to reload, so it's taking a second.
What does security look like in this big house party then?
So inside,
Right around the corner from our house, from Troll Skull.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you wanted to look fancy, so that works.
So we rode around the town for an hour.
That's right. Security inside? Make me a investigation check.
I'm not trying to be sneaky about it.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, you very quickly ascertain that although you at first glance you don't see them, they're blending in very well. There's a lot of staff here, like maybe 80 staff, and it looks like probably say a fourth of them to a third of them you would peg as security people. So they are still, and the reason why it took you a hot moment is because they are serving people and carrying things as well. But you can tell by the way they move that they're also trained security.
So I wasn't given the mission. We're supposed to find the Drow spy and but I'm looking at you guys
Report who he is to Romelia.
without alerting anyone,
Correct.
right? This is so bad. Why would you ever take a mission like this without asking any questions? Is that how all of you purple scarves are?
I don't recall taking the mission, but
I mean,
you know how
I'm
Charlie
looking at your,
is.
I'm looking at your purple ascot, man.
I don't wear the cravat.
I meant
It doesn't go with my.
Metaphysically.
It doesn't go with my outfit at all.
Zek is gonna go out into the street,
You're going to go out in the street? Okay.
Yep. and I'm just gonna stand out there.
Okay. Fair enough.
Hopefully, if somebody starts running, I will be in a better position here, not trying to get past a whole bunch of other people.
Okay.
I'm of no use to the people in that party.
Okay. That works. Orwin.
With my knowledge of Drow, can I determine if there are any visible or at least would match what I would know as far as size and body type?
There are several elves at the party, but no drow. I mean, not you spend a few minutes watching, and you don't see any drow per se.
Okay. Are there any other entrances where people are coming in and out of other than the front door?
No, that is the. There are side hallways that are not terribly long that lead to privies, but that's it. I mean, it's a mostly contained space other than the privies, but there's no exits from there. So the one entrance and exit is the front door, the set of front doors. At least that's all you can really tell from searching around a bit.
Okay. Is there anyone that's like really big?
Really big? Yes. There is one person who is almost as large as you. It is a dragonborn paladin. And there are many people kind of around him listening to every word that he says. And when he says something, there are people who cock their heads, and then there's other people who are nodding in agreement. And then occasionally one of those people will ask a question, and you can see that he thinks about it for a moment and then answers again. But he's very big, and he's a red dragonborn.
Okay.
Paladin.
I'd like to make my way over towards that group of people and kind of hang out on the outskirts and listen to what he's saying, and also keep an eye on the front door and kind of just scanning for someone that doesn't look like they were here earlier or when we got here.
Okay. I mean, you start listening to him, and the gist of what he's saying, if you were going to almost oversimplify it, is that we can't put our faith in gods because gods are as fallible as people. Therefore, the faith that we have to have is in our own powers. And these are the conversational publishings that he's made that have made other paladins question their own gods in existence so thoroughly that they can't access their powers anymore.
Okay.
And people say, well, what about this or what about that? And he thinks about it, and then he answers. And in the end, he says, knowledge is the largest weapon. A shield will protect you. A sword will cut down a threat. But you have to live with that after you've done so. And is that the life you want to lead?
Can I tell if he seems to have any interest in hurting other people? Like,
I would say you could probably make an insight check to see if he believes what he's saying.
Yes. That's a 4.
You make it with is that charisma based?
Wisdom.
Wisdom, okay. Yeah, he seems honest about it. I mean, he seems like he has conviction for what he's saying.
Okay.
And you ask one of the people that are listening what his name is, and they tell you it's Red Redemption.
Middle name dead.
No. Absolutely not.
Okay. I think
That,
I'll
no
probably
cowboy
hang out-
hats here.
I think I'll probably hang out in that area, trying
Okay.
to listen and keep an eye out for any new people
Very good.
trying to show up. Especially if they show up without going through the front.
Dryzen, let's return to you.
Right. Quickly before I move in, do I notice anyone playing the game a little bit too well?
Make me another investigation check.
Boop.
There are a couple times that you think so, and then you see them falter.
Okay.
They overstep. They were getting like it's like momentum in wrestling almost. It's like they kept doing better and better, and then when they should have stopped, they completely didn't. They just kept going, and eventually made a faux pas to make them lose face. And it's you've seen this over and over again as you've watched, so that seems to be normal. So no one's playing it too well.
Okay. Then I guess I will. Is this? Would I know if the Open Lord of Waterdeep was here?
Yes, you would.
And are they in attendance?
They are not.
Is there any space? Would I have known if they would have likely have been invited?
Everyone invites the Open Lord of Waterdeep to everything.
Okay, final question in this train of thought. Is there any place where I could be in a private space where no one could see me?
Probably yes, I see where you're going. The only place you could probably do that would be the privy.
Right.
I mean, okay.
I'm not. I don't think I'm going to follow that train of thought.
So just one more thing. There is another possibility, okay, in the fact that these servants have to be getting food and drink from somewhere. So there's most likely a kitchen and stuff, and there may be janitorial closets or something back that way, but you've not investigated that, so you're not sure where they are. But right now, the only option you've seen so far are the privies.
Okay. Okay. I'll probably have to make a new roll for this, but can I take a look at the staff and see if I notice any of them lingering around any conversations too long?
Well, you
Anyone?
will be able to, except that you walked up to Remalia Haventree to extricate Quark, and I need to know what you're saying to do that.
Okay. So I approach with a very calm demeanor, kind of with like I'm about to do something, like say something important, like I'm kind of someone important to Quark at least, and I'm like, pardon the intrusion, milady, but I'm a member of Lord Quark's personal staff, and I have an important matter has come to our attention, and I require a moment of privacy with the Lord of the Bird People.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Advantage. Persuasion.
She says, "Oh, of course I would not want to keep the Lord of the Bird persons from any important work."
I promise I will return him anon, milady.
Why, thank you. What was your name?
I am Dryzen, milady.
A pleasure, Dryzen. And she squeezes your arm, Quark, and says, I will be quite interested to hear more of your people and your village and the land you rule over. You're on.
Yes. I will return shortly, and we can continue our conversation. By your leave.
And Dryzen, you do notice that the other person that she drugged Quark over to almost gives you a help me look as Ramalia then like moves over to his shoulder and latches onto it as you begin to move Quark away.
And I whisper to Quark quietly as we are a decent bit away from her. I'm like, how far are you, my friend?
Well, she is quite the person, shall we say.
Now, did you happen to notice anything astray while you were by her side?
Aside from her bizarre affinity for me? No. Unfortunately, it all seemed very, very similar to the party, with the people and the mingling, and everyone seemed to have the same pleasantries, and I didn't... Okay. Passive perception of 16, did I notice anything?
No, she seemed to be... I would say that she seemed to be legitimately interested in you, but there was that tiny edge that she was trying to figure out how to attach herself to you to raise her own standing, perhaps. But not enough. If she was being disingenuous, she was a pro at it. Because she seemed genuinely interested, but I think she was having a hard time maybe figuring out what to do with you.
Wants to be associated, but not sure how to do it. Yeah. No, I think she was just... I think we've made quite a mark, and I think she's just used to being connected to the popular people of the city, and we are now popular people of the city. Somehow, I have been identified as the head of our group and lord of the bird people. I have a feeling Atali had a hand in that. But otherwise, she seems fine. The people I was introduced to, I didn't see or sense any malevolence or anything untoward from. How fares the rest of the group?
It is at that moment that you hear the sound of clanging glasses, and suddenly it begins to spread throughout the entire hall, and you see that it is Ramalia leading the interruption, and she says, Everyone, my good personal friend, Lord Quark of the Bird Persons, and the Menagerie, is here. Let us all wish him the most celebratory of happy birthdays. And everyone starts ringing out in happy birthdays and raising glasses as they all look your general direction.
Is there anyone that is not looking his general direction?
No, in fact, all 400 people pretty much are like craning their necks or trying to move to get a view of this mysterious new lord that no one knows, that has risen so quickly through the ranks of notoriety.
Okay, is there a place for Quark to light on? I mean, this is a ballroom, so I'm assuming it's pretty high ceilings.
Yeah, they're like 18-foot high ceilings, so you could probably...
Is there somewhere he could perch and kind of make a spectacle a bit of
Sure, there's a fountain in the very center you could perch on top of, yes.
Okay. As much as I hate to do this, Tresin, I'm going to go make a bit of a distraction of myself, get with the rest of the group, and try to figure out what's going on. And with that,
Best of luck, friend.
He swoops up onto the fount, and as best as he can with his perch, makes a very deep bow with a sweeping of the wings, and
Oh yeah, make
comes
me a
back up.
performance check for this. This is,
Of course,
There-
I'm doing all the things I am horribly.
yes,
sad
no,
at.
it's great. There are gasps when you start to fly, and as you alight, and you rolled. Yes, no.
No.
This is you alight and you grasp the edge of the fountain, and when you do the bow, you go headfirst into the fountain. And you pop up and shake off, and everyone is like, oh, and they all start clapping. It's
Act like it's a bird bath day. Just
Yeah,
Yep.
preen a little.
yes, yep, nope. They're all clapping. There's cheering. There's applause.
Thank you, thank you.
I want to yell encore.
You do. You hear someone yell in a very large, deep voice, "Encore!"
I don't know what an encore is.
It means do it again.
Oh, I'd rather not. All right, let's do this. No, okay, I'm gonna try again. I'm not going to bow this time. I'm going to flap up, spraying everyone with water from my wings that's within range, because that's what would happen, and get back up on top of the fountain again.
Okay.
And then just be, thank you everyone. Thank you for your kind applause and your kinder words. There is nothing more that warms this old bird's heart than all of your companionship and your welcomingness of us into your fair city. All of my fellow bird persons back home would be most regaled by the generosity and kindness that you have shown this old bird. And he's trying to draw it out and trying to give the group time to, see if there's anything amiss from the crowd. And he's really drawing out every word and making a grand gesture of making sure to look all around.
As he's doing this, Methelus, the gentleman Tethan that you're with, he says, "Do you think you might get me an introduction to Lord Quark?" As he's watching the spectacle, he's acting kind of out of the side. It's like he's watching a train wreck. He can't take his eyes off.
I gotta look at him. I was like, "Are you sure?
I mean,
Do you really want to?"
he commands the attention of so many. I think it would.
So does a boulder rolling down a hill, and yet I'm certain you wouldn't want to meet that either.
Well,
But
I mean,
if you come by Troll Skull Manor in the next few weeks, as we get it open for business, that's where we may be able to provide an introduction.
I will definitely do so. Thank you, my lord.
Certainly. I can't ask him. This guy didn't even want to be here in the first place. I need to look for at the elves, almost especially, because while he may be in disguise, I would think that a dark elf would have quite a bit of disdain for the other races, the overland races, and I'm looking for somebody who seems to just be trying to get information, be part of the party, but they're not really trying to elevate themselves. They're not trying to gain more respect, more reputation. They're just looking for information and kind of don't really care for the people they're talking to.
So,
If that makes sense. butts.
Other
Make
than the
me.
five butts.
So I'm going to have you do that. Make me an investigation check. Mitchell, you had said Dryzen was kind of doing something similar. So make
Yeah, looking at the staff and kind of something similar to that too.
okay. Make me an investigation check for that.
Ice is what
Wrong
I'm
tab.
rolling dice.
Wrong tab. Do.
So
Oh, whoops. They're the same, but
no, that happens. You just basically rolled the same twice. So the short version is Mythilus. There are several elves, but the elves that are here are in the orbit of Romalia. And the only person who seems like they don't want to be there is the person that she is currently latched to. But it's not like what you were asking about, right?
They just don't want to be latched to Romalia.
Yeah,
They
pretty
don't
much.
mind being at the party.
Right.
They just don't like where they're at the party currently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. And then Dryzen does a quick scan of the staff, and it is how would I even, the short version is that you have seen shoddy staff before. This is not a shoddy staff. They are heads down going about their stuff. They are not being lazy, dallying, anything along those lines. You are able to pick out that some of them are security staff posing as waiters and stuff like that. But even them, they're still doing things. They're not. You're not sensing there's any issue with the staff, I guess is a short answer. It seems to be a well-trained staff that is on their toes.
okay. While I'm doing that, are there any of like security staff that seem more alert or more like in charge? Is there anyone that security staff that looks like they're like the head security?
If there is, you're not able to determine it right now
Okay,
from the folks you've seen.
got it.
Orwin.
Has someone asked? I assume someone's probably asked how Red is able to still keep his powers and essentially trash talk.
Do you ask him that?
Has someone asked while I was standing
No.
there? No. Then yeah, I'd like to ask him how he remains powerful with so much disbelief in the gods as a whole.
He says, I kept my powers by giving up my powers. Once I realized that the gods were as fallible as I was, I lost my powers, I gave them up, and started believing in my own power. And it took me many years, but I have attained a higher level of power than when I believed in the gods. And that's not to say that people shouldn't believe in gods. I'm not attempting to tell anyone what they should or should not believe. What I'm saying is that many people use it as a crutch when they could be stronger if they looked to other ways of believing in themselves.
Why is internal knowledge, more important than learning about the good that the gods bring and the power that they have, rather than focusing so heavily on the fact that they are fallible?
A good question. I am not dissuading or contesting that there are gods who do good, just as there are gods who do evil. And the ones that do good should have people that believe in them. All I am saying is it is not the only way to enlightenment. It is not the only way to gain strength. And Paladin dogma for millennia have said that the only way to obtain power is to do so through a god. This is what I am speaking out against.
So, were there any strange reactions to my questions?
No, he seemed to be genuinely engaging.
No, like from the other people in the crowd.
Oh no, there are some people who nod their heads when you ask your questions, because this is obviously, I mean, you don't know how long he's been here, but this is obviously a conversation he's been having with these people in his orbit for at least an hour, and
Yes.
different people are asking different questions, and when you ask your questions, there's a lot of people who nod their head or even say a verbal, yeah, that's a good point, that kind of thing. That's a good question.
And I assume I haven't noticed anything different.
Not-
any new people at the party or anything like that.
No, actually the party or people coming in seems to have trickled off.
Okay. I'd like to hang out a little bit longer, but do I know where Mythilus is at? Like, can I see him?
Probably not by now.
Okay. Yeah, I'll hang out a little bit longer. And I'll keep an eye out specifically for him.
Okay.
Probably break off when I see him come back in view.
Quark.
Well, Quark is running out of things to say and feels that it's probably time that he get done with this spectacle. But while he has a appropriate perch for observation, he's keeping an eye out to see what he can see with his bird eyes. Again, with our mission in mind.
Right. Yeah, you start to see from this elevated position, you start to see what Dresden was intelling at the beginning, that there are pockets of people in this 400 people, and it seems like there's really, you'd say 1, 2, I'm going to make sure I said the right number, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's really 6 different centers of orbit within the room. It seems to be a Dragonborn Paladin, red Dragonborn Paladin, a Dwarven Noble, a dark-skinned human with small black goatee and glasses in very fine clothing, the person that Mythilus is with, and the person that Romelia is currently latched onto. The people are kind of swirling in patterns around them.
Well,
Almost like flocks of birds,
almost like flocks of birds, yes.
which is probably the first time you've noticed that.
Interesting you hit it. And I would know, I know where I was with Romelia. I know I can see where Mythilus is with his individual, and I can see that Orwin's over by the Paladin, which means the dwarf and the dark-skinned human are the only ones remaining that haven't really been at least approached in some way by one of our group.
Well, the one with Romelia really hasn't been approached by the group either. You were drug over there, but there was barely even time for for introductions.
Right. Okay. Before I sequestered you away from them.
But he does seem adequately terrified of Romelia, so probably knows her reputation and is more likely to be someone who is actually supposed to be there. The dwarf could be a target because all elves hate dwarves, right?
What? I thought it was all elves want to chuck dwarves.
Yeah, well, maybe that's what it is. But then
It works both ways. It's a
then
transitive.
there's the overly obvious dark-skinned individual in glasses. Quark thinks that's got to be too obvious, but what the hey? So he graciously again says, thank you all. I bid you an excellent party, and I hope to see all of you at the official birthday party later this evening. And dismounts the statue, noting where the dark-skinned human was.
Having another party.
Make a performance check.
Well, wouldn't that be athletics if I'm just dismounting?
Okay, athletics. Yeah, sure.
Oh, it'll be terrible anyway. Oh, dear God.
What did you roll? I can't see it.
7.
You're fine. You almost slip from from your feet being wet, but you managed to catch it in time.
All right.
And you land near the person in the dark-skinned human with the small black goatee and glasses. Is that what you were doing?
Well, I wasn't going to land next to them. I was going to land at the base of the fountain and start trying to make my way in that direction.
There are many people trying to talk to you now.
Right. That is the problem. Can I get to Dryzen more easily?
No, because you left him near Romelia, which was kind of at the back of the ballroom, and then you went to the far middle of the ballroom. So no, this guy's closer for sure.
Okay. So, well, I will work my way with trying to play off platitudes that I've seen from others in my now 2 excursions into the land of nobility and high society. So I will try to shake as many hands and ply my way through as many people heading in that general direction as possible.
Go ahead and make me a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay.
Since you're being honest about it. And Dan, I'm not asking because I have a good idea of what you're doing. Is that cool? Because I haven't come back to you for a little bit.
No. You're
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're. It takes you longer than you would like. Is the short answer, because there are so many people who want to, talk with you or touch you familiarly. Kind of like Romelia did. Pat your hand or the end of your wing or something like that. You finally make your way over to them, and he actually looks up at your approach, and he says, just the person I was looking to speak with. And he holds up his hand like this, and does this, and there's a card that appears in between his fingers immediately. He says, JB Nevercott, pleased to meet you. And he hands you the card, or he extends the card between his fingers to you.
Well, think that he'll reach out and take the card, or Quark will reach out and take the card. So, thank you. Glance at it quick, and it says
JB Nevercott?
nothing else.
JB Nevercott, haberdasher.
Another clothing person. Yes, I see. You are a haberdasher in the city here, I assume.
Oh, yes. I keep forgetting you're new to the city. I'm quite pleased to make your acquaintance. Yes, we have one of the largest and finest establishments in the entire countryside, let alone Waterdeep. Everyone wants to commission a outfit from Nevercott.
Oh, I see. We'll have to keep that in mind. For we seem to be getting invited to a great many of these events, and seem to find ourselves oft want needs and of finery. So I will definitely keep this in mind for our future events.
He actually puts his arm around you and pulls you in close, and he says, "Listen. You've achieved a great amount of notoriety in a very short time. I am an excellent player of the game, and I will make sure that you look your best to achieve maximum scores in that game." And he has a smile on his face. The smile never leaves his face, even when he's being serious. It's a little unnerving.
Okay. In any of this, I again, the passive is 16. I'm assuming I'm getting that this guy is just legitimately what he says he is, or
Yeah, no, yeah, he was. I mean, he seems to be legit. He's
okay.
Even as other people come by, he's like, "Hey, how you doing? Never caught." And he extends them a card. Like he's networking. That's what it seems like he's doing.
Right. He's
Yeah,
here
yeah.
for legitimate personal reasons.
Yeah.
But Mr. Nevercott, you seem quite well connected in this town. I'm kind of hunkered down now, like whispering
You're right,
to him
right.
as well, trying to play on some false sense of camaraderie that he might want to espouse. You seem to know a great many people in this town, and I have to admit, as you said, we are fairly new to the city, and we don't know all of the fine people here. I met a ton of people at the party. I've met a dragon. I'm meeting more people here, and I'm really working to build up our network for the business of the Troll Skull and for our adventuring party. But I'm wondering, I actually have a deeper purpose here this evening, and I'm wondering, is there anyone here that you could identify to me that maybe seems like they shouldn't be?
His eyes, for the first time, the smile almost drops. It doesn't. But you can see the gears are turning in his head and he's thinking. And then the smile's back. He's like, "Okay, I know you're new, so I'm going to give you this one for free. First off, never admit your weaknesses. Always come from a position of power. If you let people know in this town your weaknesses, they will prey upon them. They will pounce on them. They are vicious. They are unforgiving. So don't do that again. Second, I can't say that I have. Most everybody I've met are nobles. I've met other things, occasional new nobles that have recently come into money, things like that. Country bumpkin nobles, no offense. But as far as I can tell, not that I recall anyone not belonging here. Ramalia runs a pretty tight ship when she throws these events. So, yeah, no, I'll keep an eye out, but I don't think so.
I would appreciate that, and thank you for the advice. If you do, please let one of my entourage know if you do see anything, and let them get back to me with the information, playing that I'm in charge, right? Blah blah blah.
Right.
And we will definitely be making a trip to your establishment sometime in the not distant future. So please, if anything does come up, please let us know.
Absolutely. And one more piece of advice. You said people are approaching you at these events to go to more of them. You need to go. The hen that greases the wheel gets the most money. That's what he says. And he reaches his hand out to you. I just realized you can't see because I'm off camera. He reaches his hand out to you.
Quark will respond in kind and reach out and take his hand.
Yeah, firm handshake. He says, "Good luck, kid."
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm sorry. I should. Good luck, Lord Quark of the Bird Persons.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I guess that'll play that round.
Okay. Let's see. Methless.
Have I, in my walkings through the party, the general mingling, have I noticed these swirls of attention?
Roll me an investigation check.
While he's doing that, how do you spell that guy's name?
His is J.B. Never COTT.
Never see what you do. Thanks.
Wasn't going to be obvious with CAUGH.
That's why I was like, I better spell that when you asked. Yes, you have noticed this as well. And when you're making your round, you see Quark speaking with one of them. You left Tethan, and as soon as you left, there was a young thin woman that came up to him and started put her arm around him and ruffled his hair a little bit. And there are many people around them now, and they're starting to speak with different people. So you're guessing it was probably her sister.
His sister Tira.
Yeah. And so the only other one that I think,
The Dwarven Noble.
yeah, the Dwarven Noble, and then the person that Romelia is still latched onto.
Who is she latched onto? Did we get a description or a name?
You did not.
All right, well, I will go to speak with the Dwarven Noble.
Okay. You make your way over to him. You make your way over to them. So, as you approach this person, they are speaking with a kind of a big crowd, like probably about 20, 25 people that are all listening to a story that they're telling. And every once in a while, they will shout something out at them, and they put a finger up in the air and then say something back, and the whole group laughs. You're not quite close enough to hear what's going on, but as you get closer, it seems that they're playing a word association game of some sort, and they seem very quick when someone offers a suggestion to create a story or joke on it.
They're
And
ad-libbing.
yeah, they're basically ad-libbing. But they seem very quick-witted in doing so.
When you're saying they, you're referring to the noble?
Correct.
The noble?
That is correct.
I'll get closer and join in the ad-lib session if the opportunity presents itself.
Okay.
While paying close attention to the crowd rather than the noble himself. See if anybody is more interested in what's not being said by the noble. If that makes sense, if somebody's paying more attention or having like private side conversations within the crowd itself.
Yeah. Make me. Is that your most recent? No, that was your orbiting investigation check. Make me an investigation check here. Yeah. So you don't see any of that going on. You see that people kind of come into the orbit, play for a little while, and then leave the orbit. You do see the occasional person talk to another person and say, how did they come up with that so quickly? You know, that kind of thing, but nothing, no like extended conversations that they're not playing if they're near the noble.
Nothing seemingly sly.
No, not at all. And to be fair, you keep looking for your chance to jump in with answers, and this dwarven noble is lightning fast and witty. There are some retorts that they make that have triple meanings based on how you interpret it. Most of them sexual.
Oh, of course.
But yes,
Not a party without innuendo.
yeah, absolutely. The guests are entertained and amused.
Does anybody happen to say? Do I happen to catch the Dwarven noble's name while in his orbit?
Yeah, eventually somebody says, Lord Artemis, how are you able to come up with these answers so quickly? And they respond that they have extensive word exercises that they do in the mornings daily to try and build ideas. Mostly based on their own experiences and experiences of others that they've read about. And eventually you learn that the Lord's full name is Tai Artemis. That's Taigh Artemis.
Stefan Lambros, Sister Kira. All right, now all that's left is the people around Romelia. I will, since nothing seems to be over here other than actual, just regular party stuff.
Dryzen.
All right. I'm actually going to make my way after a little bit of time while Quark's doing his thing. I'll move back to Romelia and the author, and I'm going to say to Romelia, Lord Quark would like to apologize for not being able to return. He has a duty to communicate with the other members of the party, as you can well understand, I'm sure. I'd also like to give my personal apologies for taking him away from your time. I'm sure he will return eventually. In the meanwhile, would you mind introducing me to your friend here?
Make me a persuasion check with advantage. You can see a slight moment of hesitation on her face as she's processing whether or not she actually wants to talk to you. Because you introduced yourself as a manservant, I believe. Or was it a manservant?
Staff.
A member of staff. Right. But she nods, but not like how would I say this?
Not politely.
It's almost a dismissive nod, yeah. And she says, yes, I suppose it would do my good friend, Lord Quark, to know of Tarkus Forrester. Tarkus Forrester, this is Lord Quark's staff member. Dryzen, was it?
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. Tarkus is a carpenter who writes in his spare time. And I just finished his book, The Serpent of Salinger. It was a horror novel, and I fell in love with it. Absolutely in love with it. And she squeezes his arm, and he looks visibly uncomfortable, like he would like to be anywhere else. He's a tan-skinned human with a stain on his lapel. He strikes you as a nervous an uncertain man who has no business being at this party.
Well, that sounds most interesting. You said you were
And to be specific, she did not say Lord.
And she said he was a woodworker of some sort?
Carpenter.
A carpenter. Okay.
Yes.
And it remind me quickly. It was Methlus who was doing the union, workers union kind of thing of the.
No, that was actually Leonardo.
That was Leonardo. Okay. I will still mention it. Okay. You said you were a carpenter, correct? She said you were a carpenter, correct?
He says, yes, that's correct.
A close friend of mine in the menagerie, Lord Leonardo, is working on creating a union. I'm sure if he was here, he'd be most delighted to make your acquaintance.
A carpenters union?
A workers' union, just in general, for the city of Waterdeep as a whole. He's been reaching out, I believe, to a number of the members within the city about this.
So
within near Troll Skull Alley, at least. I do not know if it reaches any farther.
I am somewhat confused, but I would be interested in finding out more, I believe.
Okay, where was I going with this? All right, while I continue to kind of like make conversation with them as best as I am able, I am going to try and see if anyone lingers in the orbit a little bit too long, or see if anything happens where anyone passes by. You kind of get what I'm.
Yes, absolutely, and you can see. Yeah, make me a roll, investigation roll, real quick. So no is the short answer. Everything seems copacetic, but the longer you're there, the more you feel like this guy is her shiny toy that she's trying to elevate so that other people will attach to him, which reflects favorably on her.
Right.
And this guy pretty much seems like a limp noodle. I mean, he does not belong here. He is swimming with sharks, and he's a guppy.
Right. I throw in the bone and I say, sometime in the near future, if you would like, you could swing by Troll Skull Manor, and I'm sure if our friend Leonardo is there, he'd be delighted to talk to you.
I will do so. Thank you for the invitation.
You're welcome. As for now, I must take my leave. And I bid you a good rest of your night, sir. And madam.
It's just nice to meet you.
And I slowly walk away. Well, walk away at a decent pace, as to not draw any further attention onto myself.
and you see just the slightest, I thought you were going to help me, kind of shake of his head. Orwin.
Yeah.
All right. I would like to ask the guy, or I'd like to ask Red, if you give up godly powers, right? What can you expect to get from your own mortal self that would compete? Like I've been in arenas and I've fought, and I've never had any sort of godly powers.
Exactly. Exactly. You did not need to rely on the gods because you forged your own path in the arena. Now imagine that, right? And imagine creating a mental discipline inside yourself, as well as your physical discipline, to believe in yourself enough to manifest the same powers that a god would give you. Not everyone can do it, but I am proof that it is possible. And if it is possible, it can be probable for others.
But would that way be better?
I believe
In a
so.
way?
I am not beholden to a fallible god's fickle whimsy. I have my code, which is to help the poor, the weak, protect those in need. And that may not be what everyone aspires to. But those are the things that I hold dear. And those are the things that I have carved for myself. Instead of relying outward, I have turned inward.
Well, good sir, you certainly seem to be effective at it. Have I seen Mythilus come in back yet?
Yeah, at this point, you do see him appear.
I'm gonna say, I must take my leave, but I do hope to speak with you again in the future.
It was good speaking with you, friend.
And then I want to go. I want to try to get to Mythilus and kind of quietly ask, what kind of information is the spy probably looking for again?
Sorry, I was muted. You know, I wasn't really there when we took the mission. It was actually Itali who did most of the speaking to Three Strings, I believe his name was. So I'm kind of confused at this point as well. I don't know what he's looking for. I'm really losing faith in the ability to find any spy in this massive crowd.
I've noticed at this point, I would assume what the person that he's close to is doing, right, with ad-libbing and being funny.
Yes.
Okay. Have I noticed or was Red presenting more like he was on a stage, or was he more just having private conversations and other people listening in?
More like a public conversation, like a town hall kind of thing, more than.
Okay, so.
But not like he was like on stage,
Right,
performing. But yeah, it was more of a conversation with multiple people at once.
Okay. Other than these two,
yeah.
Can I tell if there's anyone else that is behaving in that fashion?
Remalia, kind of.
Okay.
But beyond that, yeah, beyond that, not really. No, okay. Remalia is probably the. I mean, how can I say this? There are noble clusters, because obviously there's different standings within the nobility as it is. So there are clusters of like handmaidens around, and people who want to gain favor with a specific noble around them, but they're not like. They're just ordinary noble, I guess is the best way to say that.
Okay, so I'll tell Mythilus. So my first thought is that these two people, with their public persona, are probably kind of like an open book and not the focus of who we're looking for. So, yeah, I mean, if you agree, then I'm having trouble identifying who might be a target to be watched.
Exactly. Who is who's got more information around here? I mean,
Who's
JB
reserving
Nevercaught
it?
is a tailor who's obviously just networking. The Dwarven Noble is here joking and having fun with everybody. Red Redemption is preaching his new personal religion.
Yes.
Tefan and Tira Lambros are basically Father Joe's Villages type. They're here to try to get help for the needy and the poor. So they're
Okay.
not. They don't seem to have any underhanded things. Tarka Forrester is a carpenter and author who's so far out of his depth he looks like Quark. And Ramelia is the hostess. So at this point, I don't think the spy's here, and I'm going to have some drinks and enjoy my evening.
Okay.
Unless somebody has a better idea, because
I think
I'm just wandering around with twiddling my thumbs at this point, trying to figure.
Okay. Try to keep an eye out for anyone that starts keeping a close eye on me, if you could. And then I'll walk off. And what I'm going to try to do is be a really bad spy. Like, be obviously trying to kind of hide. I know I'm huge. And listen in and then move on to the next group of people and listen in with hopes of that kind of
Stumbling across them.
no, yeah, well, more with hopes of that upsetting someone and drawing attention to myself, because I feel like the people that would be upset by it would be people that are trying to do it much better and don't want that type of attention, being brought forth.
Are you just eavesdropping, or are you saying anything?
I'm just eavesdropping, but and I am going to try to listen for anything interesting, but, my hope really is more that if people start paying closer attention to me, then there's might be 400 people looking for a spy instead of 5.
Okay.
So, okay.
Okay. Make me a make me a investigation roll with advantage because you're trying to do it badly. Okay. Yep, you start doing that. Great.
Okay.
Perfect. While we think about this, let's go ahead and take our 20-minute break. And we will be back in 20 minutes. Going to let everybody hydrate, grab some snacks, get caught up, and we will be back soon. Hope everybody is enjoying the show. Thank you so much for joining us, as always. So we will be back in 20 and continue on our story from there.
getting worse. Our exploratory diving bell escaped the mummy is here in Perry. Wong and his assistant, Mary Nelson, have managed
Our computers indicate that whatever caused it came from somewhere in the Pacific.
We'll start searching that area immediately.
Did you know that you can subscribe to the channel for free if you have Amazon Prime? It's true. All you have to do is sign into your Amazon account, and then go to gaming.amazon.com. On the left side of the screen, under your name, it will ask you to link your Twitch account. Once that's done, just head over to our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/gamersledge. You'll have an option to subscribe using your Twitch Prime. It costs you nothing, but helps support the channel. There is one catch: it runs out in 30 days, so make sure you come back and click the subscribe button again next month if you want to continue supporting great shows like this one. Thanks for helping. Be excellent to each other. And game on.
There's new items in the merch store. Head to bit.ly/gamersledgemerch. That's all one word, Gamers, Ledge, Merch, to check out the newest, latest and greatest gifts like mugs, t-shirts, mousepads, stickers and more. Show some love for the show creators. They get a cut from each item sold, whether it is a Notice Me Senpai DM t-shirt, or a mug that helps you clarify when a point needs to be made in conversation. There's still a few minutes left in the break. You've got time? We will be here when you get back. Visit bit.ly/gamersledgemerch. Be excellent to each other and merch. I mean, game on.
Our first TTRPG Family Spotlight is on Dawn's Place YT. That's at Dawn's Place YT on Twitter. Dawn is a community member that has a blog where she does a deep dive and review on tabletop accessories and games. She also has a YouTube channel that you can get to from her link tree. Let's see if we can't get some more subscriptions to her channel if you have the time to head that way. Her link tree is linktr.ee/Dawn's Place.
Are you looking for a D&D podcast with a dark side? Something more like Game of Thrones and less like Monty Python? Tale of the Manticore is part dark fantasy audio drama, part solo D&D RPG. There's no plot armor here. The dice make all the important decisions. Join me as I resurrect the excitement, wonder, and emotion of old school D&D. Made for a mature audience, Tale of the Manticore is both a fiction and a game. It's the story where chaos rolls.
Works of Whimsy Studios is a high-quality craft maker who makes some of the best TTRPG accessories I've ever seen or purchased. I recommend heading to her Etsy store, where you can see giant D20 containers, jewelry, door frame art, and more, but in particular, you'll want to check out her book nooks. These are high-quality mini showcases that fit on your bookshelves between your books. I have one behind me you can see on almost any of my streams, and it's amazing. You can find any of Jess's links at her link tree at linktr.ee/Works of Whimsy Studios. Abyssal Brews is a published TTRPG supplement and magic item producer. They give great advice on Twitter, and you can find their products on Ko-Fi, DriveThruRPG, itch.io, and Roll20. Their alternate travel system, Campfire, makes travel rules easy, fun, and I highly recommend it. Head to abyssalbrews.com/hub for all the goods. And welcome back, everyone. Where we left off with the menagerie, they had been invited to a party to attempt to see if they could figure out who a drow spy was amongst the guest list. They have mingled amongst the crowd, identified several fascinating people, but are still trying to figure out who the drow spy may be. And that is where we will rejoin the menagerie. There we go. I hope everyone had a good break. And let's see. Perfect. So, you had identified 6 major people of influence within the attendees. You had spoken with some of them, observed the staff, kind of got a layout of the land for the actual physical location itself. What else? What next?
Well, I suppose Quark did promise that he would head back over to our host, so he should probably fulfill that obligation.
Okay. When Romelia spots you coming over, she unlatches from the person that she was latched onto and instead says, "My good friend Lord Quark, have you met Tarkus Forrester yet?"
No, I have not. You were about to introduce us when I was pulled away. I believe you said he was an author of some sort.
That's right. He is a carpenter, actually, and he writes in his spare time. I just finished his most recent book, The Serpent of Salinger. It's a horror novel, and I absolutely fell in love with it. Everyone should read it.
Oh, a horror novel.
And I mean, if you were looking at a human version of you, it's him. He looks like he is he's rubbing his arm from where she had been clutching onto it, and he is looks somewhat relieved, but still like he's doesn't really belong here.
Right.
I mean, he's in finery, but you would hazard a guess that he did not pay for it.
A horror novel. I cannot say I've ever read such a thing. How is as a carpenter you would come up with an idea? What is the premise of the book? Hopefully not about carpentry that takes over and starts murdering people.
Oh no, nothing like that. It's about well, I won't say that I wasn't inspired by perhaps 1 or 2 mishaps, hitting my thumb instead of a nail, accidentally small cut when sawing, things of those natures. But the book is actually about a dog who gains supernatural powers and goes on a killing spree.
Oh dear. That does sound quite horrible. Most dogs are quite friendly when you get to know them.
Quite.
I guess that's what makes it an uncomfortable story. So have you had much success with this book?
It has. Sales have picked up. I mostly wrote for fun, but after the sales started picking up, I had to learn a lot about bookbinding and printing and distribution. And luckily, Lady Romelia has been an assistant in that area.
A patron, as it were, or matron in this case.
And Romelia says his writing is, well, I have read his horror novel, but he also writes prose, and it's a beautiful blend of an everyman's perspective and beautiful poetry. And he says it's just a hobby, really. Carpentry is more my real thing.
And is your business nearby?
It's in the North Ward, but much closer to the Dock Ward.
But it's as you are in the North Ward. When we opened Trollskull Manor, even nay, for as a favor to the lady of our host here, you could even come earlier to Trollskull Manor and get a preview of our, shall we say, unconventional barkeep. It's probably someone, as an author, you may find some kindred spirit with.
I must admit, I'm intrigued.
I have not from these parts. I am not aware of this individual's writings, but I am told he is quite famous.
Will you share the name?
Is it the ASOS name? Is that the one that they'd recognize? That's the one I remember, but there's the other
It's
name that
not.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's not. It's a different name that I don't even remember. Yes, it's X. Author X.
Author X?
I'll have to go.
Well, yeah, we know who. Yeah, we
Yes.
would know who it is.
Yes.
Yes, Quark will reveal the name of the author ghost.
And he says, "You have him working as a barkeep at Trollskull Manor."
Yes, well, his spirit does seem to be somewhat bound to the location, and
Wait, his spirit?
Yeah, he's a touch on the dead side.
Ramalia actually drops your arm at that and looks incredulously at you. She says, "Surely you jest."
No. Our barkeep is indeed this individual, and he is indeed a ghost, a spirit serving spirits, if you will, and is there to weave a tale and answer questions. He did an interview with Volo the other day for one of his books. I assure you this is the genuine article, and he will be part of the attractions at Trollskull Manor. Your book, being a horror book with our ghostly theme, might actually be something we would perhaps like to stock some copies of to promote.
Make me a perception check.
Oh. You want me to re-roll?
No.
Or?
Actually, make me an insight check too.
Dokily.
He hesitates for just a moment and says, "That might be good once I get my next shipment of books in. I'd be interested in finding out more. A spirit serving spirits," and he puts his... What an excellent marketing tagline. I'm quite jealous.
Well, it all kind of just came together. It's all happened so very quickly. But yes, definitely sometime sometime in the next week, stop on by and we can discuss arrangements with our more business oriented individuals.
I would like that very much. And where do you find time to run an inn when you command an entire nation of bird people?
I am a leader of my village and my territory. They're operating under the guidance of the council that I left there in charge, and my second is standing there in my stead while I investigated a matter of some import to the land and became embroiled of the goings-ons here. in my hope of discovering something of the answers to a mystery of my own.
What kind of mystery was that?
Disappearances, shall we say.
Of what?
That's a story for another time. We are at a party. We should regale ourselves of the available entertainment. But yes, again, a tale for another time.
Very good. Well, it was a pleasure to meet you, Master Cork.
The
Lord
pleasure was
Cork.
mine.
Excuse me.
Oh, quite all right. Okay, so as that was all going on, I'm trying to be as obvious as possible about being where I am and everything. Anything approaching my person that would seem to be nefarious.
No, not from what you were able to make out there.
Okay.
Zach, do you have any other actions?
Zach will come inside and see if he sees any of the group other than Orwin, which I'm sure he's...
Yeah, Orwin sticks out like a thumb. You actually do see Quark, and he's with two other people currently. And there's kind of a large folk kind of orbiting in there. You don't see Methlus or Dryzen from the back of the hall.
Then Zach will assume that everything is working the way it should.
Okay.
He will shout out and say, Methlus, I'm not sure where you went, but the building in our basement, the room in our basement that's for the secret meetings, basically the contractors say it's almost done. And then he'll walk back outside.
Okay, so Orwin was near whom? Orwin, who were you near?
I had.
Oh, you were gathering intel at different places. Got it.
Yeah.
Methlus, who were you near?
I have no idea.
I left him with the jokester, the dwarven noble.
Oh, you were near the dwarven noble. Okay. And then Dryzen, where were you?
I think I had recently disengaged myself from Forrester and Ramelia recently, so I'm probably towards the center-ish of the room.
Okay. Quark, make me a perception check. My keyboard is not working. Why?
No whispers for you.
Yeah, that's what's pretty much happening right now. There we go. Okay. copy that.
Yep, copy.
Okay. Oh, you're on mute, Zach.
That was my action. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So I will go to Dryzen then for actions.
All right. I'm just gonna start making casual conversation with people and name dropping as if in like as if talking about like an urban legend or urban myth kind of sense, talking about the Bragan Darth. Just kind of name dropping it around and seeing if this triggers anyone, triggers anything. Keeping an eye on my surroundings, see if it causes any problems.
Are you trying to do it around the entire room or specific areas, specific people? What do you?
I guess I'll focus primarily on the areas where people are grouping up the most. So near the circles. And then after done that, just kind of spreading it around anywhere I can.
Okay. And what of the 6 circles, which one are you starting at?
1 second. I have to find my notes on the circles again. My phone's getting unplugged. Sorry about that. Oh gosh, notes. There we go. I'm going to start somewhere near Meathless's friend. The one he was talking to earlier.
Oh, okay, sure. So I'm gonna have you roll me a. Give me a performance check.
Okay. How'd I do? Oh, I did all right.
Yeah. Yeah, you start doing that, and I mean, you get some people who scoff, some people who laugh as if you are telling a children's tale, but nothing out of the ordinary so far in that area.
Okay. I guess I'll move towards Ramelia's circle then and probably go there and do the same kind of thing.
And go ahead.
Performance again?
Yeah.
Less optimal.
Yeah. 1 second. So you go over and you do your spiel, and Ramalia just like flat out almost snorts and laughs. She's scoffing hard at your silly story.
All right. And that would have been near the author then too. So I will move towards Lord the dwarf Artemis or whatever.
Ty Artemis, yes.
Yeah. Ty Artemis's circle, and I guess same kind of deal.
Make me another performance check. So you go in and you tell your story, and Ty Artemis picks, like, as soon as you finish the story, Ty Artemis starts making wordplay off of it, and everyone starts laughing. So, yeah, nobody seems to be out of the norm that you can tell there either.
Right. And I guess I'll move to Nevercott's kind of circle area next then. Same deal.
So you do the same thing over there, and everyone laughs it off for the most part. But Nevercott puts his arm around you and kind of draws you in close, and he says, "You're one of the menagerie, right?"
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's probably better that you don't go around broadcasting that. Just FYI.
I will take your words under consideration, friend.
Those are not the people you want to draw the attention of. Just FYI. Friendly. One merchant to another.
Thank you for it, friend.
Absolutely.
So I guess at this point, do I notice anyone keeping starting to take notice of me or keep a particular eye on me other than Nevercaught at this point? Like, has anyone taken a special interest in me after my antics?
Roll me a insight check. And I will remind you before I tell you it is a success or not that you do have a card available.
Okay. I burn my card before or after I roll?
After you roll.
Okay. Yeah, I will do that. So how do I?
So you have to right click on it and say flip, I think, card, or drag it out from the little area it's in, and then right click on it and say flip.
Did I do it? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, and now flip it.
There we
So
go.
that's a 19.
Yeah.
You're doing your best to keep an eye on all the different folks that might be looking at you, but especially the people in the center of those circles. And so far, you're not noticing anything out of the ordinary.
Okay.
So you move on to the next one.
Yeah, might as well do my last circle.
Yep. So this is for
Redemption circle.
yeah, yes. You're not yes.
I
Correct.
think he's the last one on my list.
Yep, Red Redemption. You are correct. Yep. You tell your tale, and Red blinks at you and thinks for a moment, and he says, whether a scary children's tale or not, there is a lesson to be learned. If your people were reviled as well, would you not want to create a society to better it? I don't know if they're real, but what I've heard is that they are attempting to soften the reputation of the Drow.
And I think that is a honorable pursuit. I do believe that.
I think promoting them in a way as if to be scary only serves their current image.
I suppose you have a point. Well, my stories are done for the night anyway. And a good night to you, sir.
A good
As
night
I
to you as well.
leave with a small bow and head back into the party. I guess I'll take one more look, see if I've caught anything's eye in particular, or
Roll me an investigation check. Oh. Yeah. 1 second.
The gentle sound of the birds lull us all into our sense of security. Well, Mark figures out how not to blow his entire storyline open when somebody rolls a nat 20.
With a +7 on top.
There you go.
I mean, at this point, you guys could use all the help you can get.
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
So,
does anybody else have?
yeah, does anybody else have actions at this point?
Have I been able to gather anything?
Make me an investigation check. And roll a 27.
Not quite.
No, you. The people are giving you looks because you're basically a giant elephant person that is towering over most people. Going like this, like you're almost doing like the Hulk Hogan with your giant ear. And people are definitely noticing, but most of what you're hearing is some of the menagerie are quite odd. And then other things like, I wonder what it must be like to be in love with a bird person. And things of that nature. Nothing helpful.
And I don't notice anyone upset with me.
No.
Anything?
No. Methalus is pounding punch as if it's going out of style. No? You had said you were going to enjoy some brews.
I said I was going to enjoy the party, but I'm going to go talk to Nevercott.
Okay. You go up to Nevercott, and he says, hello there. And he produces a card between his fingers, as if by instant transmission, and hands it out to you as he extends his hand.
Oh, sleight of hand, I can grab it and make it disappear as well.
Oh.
Aha, fun tricks, I see.
A showman.
Another haberdasher. Find you. Do appreciate your art. How are you finding the party this evening?
It has been very interesting. I've met several people from the menagerie. I have met several nobles that I had not yet had the pleasure of making their acquaintance and securing some of their contracts. So it has been a most enjoyable event. How about you, my good sir?
Informative too, I would assume, huh?
Absolutely.
I'll use the medallion of thought on him.
The surface thoughts are along the lines of, I'm not sure who this is. He looks as though he has money about him. I wonder if I can obtain a contract with him. I wonder if he is he looks like a lord. I wonder if he has a large staff. And then it's calculations of how many outfits for each of the staff. If you had a large staff.
So he's really just a haberdasher.
It seems like it. Do you ask any other questions? You've got like 30 seconds, so do you ask any other questions of him during that time?
I'm trying to figure out some other questions to ask that might lead to... Have you met many odd people at the party? People who seem to stand out from the rest, other than the menagerie, of course. I'm well aware of their stature.
He says, odd. He thinks, odd. That bird person asked me to watch for other suspicious people as well. Is this a suspicious person? And he says, I can't say I'm quite familiar with what you're asking me, but no, not really. Just, the occasional newly minted country bumpkin lord or lady. Something along those lines.
New money. I understand it.
Yes, indeed. I would be most interested in discussing a contract for your servants and your livery, my lord.
I currently use the Dapper Gentleman. Do you have any hobbies?
When you say the Dapper Gentleman, basically just curse words across the top of his dome. he's just like, oh, that schmuck. You wouldn't know the inside of a seam if one reached out and smacked him in the face. Stuff like that. It's just all, yeah.
So are you originally from Waterdeep?
Yes, born and raised here. Second generation Taylor.
And that comes through as true.
Yeah, that's what he's thinking. Remember, it's not a lie detector. It just tells you what his thoughts are. And it's almost like, when you have Twitch open and well, I guess you wouldn't, but when you're broadcasting and you have Twitch open, it actually creates a feedback loop where you hear the same thing twice, just slightly out of sync. That's exactly what's going on while you're doing this. I mean, you ask him the question and he thinks it and then says it, and it's like, yeah.
Okay.
Don't forget, you do have an insight check if you do believe he might be lying.
Right. If you think he's lying, that's your lie detector, is the insight check.
Let's go ahead and give it a whirl.
Yeah, he seems to be honest in what he's saying.
Do you have any other hobbies rather than just running the haberdashery, or?
I mean, yes, of course. I occasionally I'll play cards, but I'm not, that big into it. And you hear in his head, especially since I lost that 500 gold playing with them a fortnight ago. And then he says, I also like to, travel from time to time. Sometimes I will get commissions from other lands and I will need to go there to do the work myself. That's always interesting, but usually I'm being, fettered around by nobles, so it's fairly safe. And then you hear in his head, except that one time when they were attacked on the road, and lucky for them, he had brought one of his own personally retained wizards to protect him and made short work of that banditry, but then had to walk for 3.5 days to get where they were going.
Man after my own heart. Gambling and finery. Couldn't agree more.
Well, if that's the case, which I also believe it is, I hope we might be able to do some business.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And what estate are you with, my good lord?
I am Lord Mythilis Ultavoldra.
Of
The Feywild Ultavoldros? Mithril miners.
Yes, of course. Up north, or northeast, I should say.
Correct.
Yes, of course. I'm terribly sorry. I was thinking about something else, and he was thinking about something else. He was thinking about the 500 gold he lost playing cards. He was trying to size you up. Is this guy going to take my money? Or would I be able to take his?
If you're ever in the need for a game, you can stop by Troll Skull Manor over the next month, and you should find me there.
Oh, are you with the menagerie?
I take it you weren't at the party.
I unfortunately was not. I just arrived to this party about probably an hour ago.
Well, you did miss several fine spectacles.
I have heard quite the stories already. I'm wondering how many of them are true. And then you hear in his head, was the Open Lord of Waterdeep there? Did they present a dragon as a gift to Quark? Lord Quark of the Bird People?
Well, let me tell you something. There was a bronze dragon that was very interested in the city's party. The city's the Sea Maidens Fair, and the Open Lord of Waterdeep showed up and had a conversation with him.
That is amazing. Would you be able to do the same for my business?
Of course I could. If you happen to have an Open Lord of Waterdeep and a dragon available.
Well, but I mean...
I laugh it off in a joking manner. I could easily promote your business.
I see what you...
I seem to have a business promote of my own.
Very true. I hear the entire city is abuzz about the grand opening. And did I hear something about a spirit serving spirits?
Have you not heard of it? So ASOS isn't the actual author's name?
No, it's not. I swear it's in you guys' notes. I thought I saw it in there, but let me look.
All I ever had was ASOS.
Stand by. I will find it. Give me just 1 second. That was in the Lost episode. So, I think I have it still here written down. Conversation with ASOS. There we go. Krenko.
Krenko was his name?
Krenko was his name.
And Krenko was his name, huh?
Yeah. He was ASOS when he was working with Zakusu, but he was Krenko and also the Mad Pirate Miravante. But Krenko was the author's name.
Have you heard of Krenko?
The author?
Tales of the Seas? Correct.
Of course, who hasn't heard of Tales from the Seas? And Ratman.
He'll be there. In spirit form, of course.
You're telling me you have the author Krenko serving at your bar?
As a spirit. Serving spirits. There's a whole tale to go along with it, so you may want to stop by so we have more time to speak about it in the future.
I most definitely will. If your serving staff is in need of livery, I would love to undercut whatever
the dapper gentleman has.
The dapper gentleman, when he says it, it rolls off in disgust. Whatever the dapper gentleman can possibly bring to the table, I will give you a great deal. Let's put it that way, on some of the finest livery that will make your serving staff stand out. Can your spirit wear clothes?
I'm fairly certain he's stuck in the ones he was in when he went over.
If not, I can add that as well.
Well, you know what? If you could sew ghostly threads, then you'd be an impressive haberdasher for the ages. Well, you sleight of hand and bring his card back forward. JV Nevercaught, wonderful to have met you.
And you, Lord Uthelvolders.
Carry on, try to figure something out.
In that moment, as he leaves, I will catch Meathlis's attention and tell him, Mr. Meathlis, I believe I might have a lead if you'll join me to head over to Mr. Quark here.
Oh, thank God.
And we make our way
my
towards
wine
Quark.
glass with me.
And Quark, at that moment, Orwin walks up, looking somewhat dejected a little bit, and Dryzen and Meathlis arrive to meet you.
Oh, my friends, I was just looking to bring my new friend, Mr. Forrester, over here to meet you. He is an up-and-coming author, a carpenter by trade, but he's an up-and-coming author. The lady, I keep forgetting her damn name.
Amelia?
Ramilia. I keep on wanting to go Regalia, but yeah.
It's Ramalia Haventree.
Ramalia. The Lady Ramalia here is quite taken with his latest novel, a horror novel about a dog who goes homicidal. And you know, if only one could know the thoughts of such an author and how they construct their stories, because it's quite beyond me how one would come up with such tales. But I definitely I offered him to come meet our ghostly host at our tavern, and perhaps even sell his book in our lobby, since you know we have a spirit and it is a horror novel. Maybe not the best connection, but you know I thought it might work, and I wanted to introduce him to the rest of you so that you could get some insight into perhaps how this individual's could align with us. Blink, 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 because owls can't wink.
Could you be any more obvious?
Indeed, the workings of a mind as one such as him I could never understand.
Oh, wow. I just tried to... I just tried to roll in Twitch chat because I'm in the wrong window. That's fantastic. That command does not work there. That's hilarious. Slash roll. 1d20 plus. It is at that moment when Quark makes just the most obvious possible implication that the posture and demeanor of Tarkus Forrester completely changes, and he removes his hat and immediately morphs into a 6'8" drow, and with shocking white hair, and he says, "I am genuinely surprised and shocked." And he turns to Ramalia and says, "Thank you for a wonderful evening, even if you were a bit clingy." And at that, he casts darkness, and I need everyone to roll initiative.
Remember to click on your icon first.
You have to click on your thing first.
Yeah.
How am I? Birds? What?
Does he have a token?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Once we get a 21.
Token.
Yeah, once you find your token on the map, you have to click on that and then click on initiative on the sheet. It doesn't work right if you don't click on the token first.
Clicked on token, moving to my character sheet, which I tabbed out, and initiative. I did it. Oh, I'm fast.
Thank you, Bearden, for the hydrate and the stretch. I'm going to do that right now.
To save his life.
I appreciate that, and also I will help find you a way to do that. Yes, I know I was on mute on purpose. I was doing stream stuff. Sorry.
Did I not do it right?
I'm still trying to find my token for this because I think I have a token for him, and if not, it's not a big deal.
No, I have a token. It's on the map here.
No, not you.
Oh, you're talking about the...
Use a tally.
No, I have one. I just had to find it, and now I have to get it.
Do we have a...
Did mine not go through right?
Yeah.
You click on it. Oh no, didn't. How did he get in there?
Oh.
No, yours did not go in yet. And I can't get him to drag to the map for some reason. Oh, there it goes.
This is something that
Got it.
makes me wonder.
What's that?
So, Drazen and I both rolled a 20.
Mm-hmm.
But he's... Oh, you haven't reset it yet. Maybe that's why.
What do you mean reset? I haven't sorted it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're first. So,
Was the one with no name Drezen, or is that you, Drezen?
Hold on 1 second.
The one with no name is Drazen.
Hold on.
Have a name.
Yes, the others can't see it. Hold on.
Tracker,
see, edit, save. There you go. Now you should see it. Yes.
Oh, there it is. Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
And then. Okay. And you don't see his name, do you?
Nope.
Perfect. Because you don't know his name. Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
Make me a perception check.
Nope.
And I will remind you that you do have a card.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Actually, no, that's cheating.
What's cheating?
Come on. 1 second. Oh, that's funny. They're not showing up anymore.
Do you have a thing where snakes automatically re-roll ones?
No, I was going to pay points to have my character reroll.
Oh, you're funny. You can't do it for yourself. It has to be other people. Now Bearden can. If Bearden, I think Bearden's got enough points.
It's fine. You're good.
If Bearden hits the community points thing and chooses TTRPG reroll, PC rerolls a roll for 1,000 points.
I saw them earlier. I just don't see them now.
Let me look.
It's fine.
They should be under I knew I made them expensive.
Oh, I see it now. I see it now.
Do you? Because I don't.
Yeah, they're near the bottom.
They're up at the top near for me. So yeah. Yep.
I can't do it for myself.
No, you can't do it for yourself. That's cheating. That is cheating. Oh,
yeah.
380, he says. All right, hold on 1 second. There, check now, Bearden.
Yeah, you're playing live.
That's right. So underneath down at the bottom where the chat button is, on the opposite side are little musical notes called Rockstar Points. Click that, and then you should see it. On mine, it's near the top, but it might be in the middle for you. It's TTRPG only. Any one PC rerolls for 1,000 points. Looks like Firestorm. And since I know he's going to do it, go ahead and re-roll your roll, Daniel. It's at this point that Daniel... Oh, okay. That's fine. It doesn't matter. It's at this point that the blue spark comes into your field of view, and it lashes out at you, and you feel a crackling energy that is both good and bad. Reroll your roll.
Interesting way to do that.
And do you wish to use a card?
Yeah, I'll use my card. Yeah.
All right, so drag it out and then flip it over.
So an 18.
So an 18. It is as soon as the blue spark hits you, it seems to disappear from view again, but you notice where it was, which is the front entrance of the building, of the ballroom, darkens visibly, and you can no longer see into the open entrance.
How many, when I was looking around, how many exits, obvious exits were first drugged?
So, did you walk all the way around it or just stay in the front?
I mean, it's been probably 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I walked around.
Okay. So what you would have seen is that there are probably two main exits. Well, that's not quite true, but there's one main exit closest to you, right? Which is where everybody went in, and you went in and came back out.
Right.
And then if you went all the way around the other side, that's where the kitchens and the wait staff enter, and there's a bunch of entrances and exits over there. So you'd say there's probably, let's just say, 6 entrances on that other side.
I am going to. Are there any guards here on the street?
Yeah, there's 2 big guys in armor that basically are controlling the rope, if you will, on the street side, which is where the main entrance is.
Okay. I'm going to toss them my hempen rope.
Okay.
And tell them keep it low. If the drow tries to escape, trip him. And then I'm going to move around to the other side to watch the other exits.
So you're leaving that side and going to the other side?
To the 6 exits, yeah.
Okay. All right.
And
So
I'll keep my ear open if they start yelling.
okay. So you start heading that direction.
And my speed is pretty insane.
Yeah. Yep. Perfect. Then Methala. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, wasn't somebody... Why is Dryzen at the bottom again?
I don't know.
Dryzen, it's your turn.
Okay. Ooh, okay. I can't see anything.
Unless you have... 1 second.
As magical darkness.
It is magical darkness. I am actually looking up magical darkness right now. Yeah. Yeah, no. You cannot see through it, even with dark vision.
Okay. Would I have a good enough understanding of the ballroom after my activities that I could reasonably find my way to the main exit in a expeditious fashion?
That's a great question. So here's how we're going to do this. I know what direction it is. You have an idea what direction it is. I'm going to have you roll me 2 things if you're going to start trying to run through here. First thing I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you roll me a... is it a history check to see how good your memory is, and that will inform the next roll. Okay. So then now roll me a... Roll me a d20.
Nope, that didn't work. What's the
it's slash roll 1 d20.
all one word?
No, slash roll space 1 d20.
18.
Okay. And then now roll me a athletics check.
Yeah, that's about how I expected that to go.
Yeah. You begin darting in the direction you're fairly sure the door is, and you trip over someone, like you bounce off of someone, and then trip over a table.
Oof.
You are now prone.
Oh, goody.
Do
I still have an action, or
you only made it like 10 feet, so you can use half your action to get up if you so desire.
Yeah, I'm gonna get up,
and then
I guess I'll keep heading in that direction, or for what's left of my movement, or I don't know.
You can trade in your movement. Yeah, you can do it. Make me another athletics check. And what's your total movement speed?
Base movement is 30.
So you went 10 feet. You spent 15. That gave you 5, and then you can move another 30. Okay, yeah, you're still in the darkness, but you did manage to, like, you were about, kind of went with your hands out a little bit this time, and were able to, football roll, spin around whenever you felt you were running into something, and you managed to do it. You managed to make it all the way.
Okay.
But you're still in the darkness. You're at the end of your movement.
I'm at like the threshold.
You think you're at the threshold, yeah.
Okay.
But again, you can't see anything. So
right.
And that brings us then to Methelus.
Cast light on my wine glass.
It is enveloped by the darkness.
Light doesn't fight darkness.
If it's second level or lower, it is swallowed by the darkness. But now you know that.
Sweet.
Twisted Ginger, you are an absolute beast, and I love you. Thank you so much for sharing the bits.
Or was he standing there?
What's that? Say again.
Was the drow moving as he cast darkness?
Yes.
Or was he just standing? Okay. And I'm going to move in the direction the drow was.
Okay. All right. So, let's see. So make me a history check.
think I've frozen.
Okay, no problem.
Oh, yeah. Whole screen's not dark. I have the mouse. Yeah. Grab a d20.
Okay, no problem. Let me see if I can pull up his sheet real quick. Do. Clear out that guy's name, otherwise I'll only see him. I'm trying to pull up your sheet so I know what your bonus is.
I got it. It actually came back up.
Okay, good.
Just a critical fail.
Okay, so make me a acrobatics check, or acrobatics or athletics, your choice. Okay, and then let's say that you do grab him. Are you making a grapple attack to grab him, or are you trying to knock him down? What are you trying to do?
I'll try to knock him down.
Okay, you're pretty sure they're right in front of you. Again, you can see nothing. But your hand, you're trying to dodge things but get them at the same time. Your hand touches a person.
Yeah, strike that. I'm actually just heading in his direction and trying to get out of the darkness. I'm not trying to grab anybody or...
Okay.
My only thing was I figured he was running, so I'm just going to chase in his general direction to try to get out of the darkness so I can see.
Okay. What's your total movement?
30, but bonus action, I can dash and get 60.
Okay, great. In that case, if you bonus action dash, you emerge out of the darkness field, and you are on the west side of the... So if you came in from the south, you're on the west side because you followed the direction he was going, but he's not there. He's nowhere to be seen there.
That's fine.
But you are out.
Do I see, the crowd? I'm guessing the crowd's just kind of going crazy because the darkness has been cast.
I mean, they're starting to. Remember, 6 seconds. So it's like the glass is dropping, but has not quite hit the floor yet. You guys are
And I'm carrying a lit freaking wine glass.
Yes, and as soon as you come out of the wine glass, the light, shines like a beacon, and people are starting to look towards your direction. Orwin.
Would I have any knowledge on how to deal with Drow Darkness from my personal history?
Roll me a history check. That's an easy answer. No.
Okay.
Or don't get in it. Those would be the two options for that roll.
I'm gonna yell to Red and say, "Hey, how do your powers handle this?" And then I'm going to do like the father shuffle where you don't take your feet off the ground, but you try to move as fast as you can, and the whole time saying very loudly, "Excuse me, sorry," and try to go towards the direction I think the entrance is.
Oh, there's gonna be so many casualties.
The father shuffle.
What's funny is I literally was just doing that, and my wife was yelling at me, "Pick up your feet," and I'm like, "I'm sliding across the floor. Why would I do that?" Right.
It's so you don't step on Legos.
And what direction are you trying to go?
Towards the entrance, because I couldn't find any other place where people would come in from.
Okay, so
Right.
First make me a history roll to see if you
remember.
Yeah. Okay, and then explain to me how you're doing it. Are you like bull rushing through this, or are you trying to take your time, or what? How are you doing this exactly?
It's a fast shuffle and with hands and just trying to feel through, but I would assume that I'm moving about half as fast as I would normally walk.
Okay, and what happens if you actually make contact with a person?
I just yell, "Excuse me," and try to gently push them off to the side.
Gently. Okay. All right.
I'm not trying to hurt them or knock them over, but I am trying to get past them. So.
Okay. Make me a athletics check.
Please refrain from running me over.
I love how I it's like
you start to do the shuffle, and it seems to be working really well, and then you get to a person and you try to palm them out of the way, and in doing so you get tangled up and you both fall.
Nice. All right. I'll try to get up. Did Red say anything?
He can't respond yet. It's not
okay.
He's not in the initiative order yet.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try to get up and continue the same thing. I'm determined to get to the front door, but I want to do it without hurting people.
Right.
I don't know how much I can do in a turn.
Give me 1 second. I want to check something. Okay. Yep. That's what I thought. Okay. Great. So then Quark.
So Quark was standing right next to him during all of this, so
right.
Desperate grab in the general direction where it was when darkness fell.
Okay, he was moving, so you're probably not going to get it, but okay. I will make a attack roll without just a general unarmed attack roll.
How do I do that? I've not actually done that.
Let me look at sheet here. Quark. Character sheet. So yeah, just same as Talons. Basically, we'll
okay.
Yeah, that's about the same. Yeah, you try to grab him, and you hear a female, "Oh!" and you have grabbed Lady Maramalia.
Apologies, and
my Lord Quark.
Oh dear. And I'll take off and fly up as high as I can to see if I can get above this accursed.
I said it was 18 foot ceilings.
Yeah, Quark doesn't know magic.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure. All right.
I know. Matt remembers. Quark has no idea.
Make me a athletics or acrobatics, your choice check.
Yeah, let's go.
You start flying straight up, and from years of flying too close to things, you have kind of that sense where you hear the sound echo off something, and you just stop yourself from flying full speed into the ceiling.
But still in darkness.
But still in total darkness.
All right. So flying, I have 40, so I've used up 18 of it. So try to triangulate. If he was moving in a general direction, just start flying along the ceiling in that direction.
Okay, so you got 20 feet.
Yeah.
Further there, perfect. Got it. I saw it, Bearded. I am adding it to the list right now. Give me 1 second, gentlemen. I need to write something down real quick so I don't forget it. Actually, Dan, are do you have the notes open? You're on mute.
Yes, and I'm writing it down.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. So from here, you get 20 feet in a direction, and you are still in darkness. And that is your turn.
Okay.
Checking one thing real quick. Sorry, I'm looking at just a couple things here. Okay, so Daniel, I wanna be clear about what you did on your turn, because I need clarification here.
All right. I handed the two giant guards at the front a piece of rope and said, if the drow starts to run tripping, it's up to you on how they interpret that.
Right, but my question is, did you like put one end in one's hand and the other end in the other one's hand?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I need to know. Okay. So,
I assumed they were standing apart.
they were,
Okay.
but remember, they can't act, so they haven't done anything, so I needed to know exactly what you did. Okay.
Right.
That answers my question. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, with that being said, and you moved ludicrously far away.
I was trying to keep an ear out if they shouted, but yeah. I moved.
Make me a perception check.
Probably 45 to 90 feet away.
Okay. Make me a
Not
perception
really
check. You hear something from the front.
Wait.
And Dryzen.
Well, it's me first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Zach. I don't know why I did that.
I will turn around and rush back.
Okay. You get there just in time to see a drow with a very fine hat with a white tail on it turn invisible. You see that as you're running up.
All right. Well, I'm going to try to punch him.
Okay.
Was that movement my movement and my action?
No.
Or was that
No, and I wanted to make sure that, like, it was I was fudging a little bit. You were kind of moving on the middle of his turn so that you could see what was happening. Yeah, but yes, you can definitely try and go where he was and punch him.
Yeah, I'm gonna try punching.
Go for it. I actually need to check his stuff here real quick.
That's a 14. Oh, I have to roll with disadvantage.
Yeah, you do have to roll with disadvantage. Yeah, the 14 was the disadvantage. Let me check one thing. Where's his AC? Yeah. You attack the air.
And then throw your blows.
Okay. With disadvantage.
Yep. So 16
Shoot, man.
and a 20.
A 20. Yeah, you.
Does
Let me
does
put
the
it this
16
way.
hit him?
Let me put it this way. The 16 did not hit him. You strike air. I'm going to say the 20. You actually do make contact with something, but not hard enough to do anything. It's a glancing blow.
Okay. So not hard enough that I would be able to push it into a open hand.
No, you did not hit. Is basically. I'm flavoring that, but yes.
All right. Well, that's me.
Okay.
I say he's out here. He's invisible. I shout that to the house.
Dryson.
Okay. I will continue to move out towards the exit.
Make me an athletics roll.
Wrong button. Where'd it go? Please don't flub it up. I flubbed it.
What's up, Daniel?
Did you take a disengage action to leave my reach?
He did not, but you still don't get an attack of opportunity against him.
Okay.
Because of abilities.
No, that's fine. I have Sentinel of Feet, which gives me that ability. It's not normally an ability.
Right. You're really having difficulty here. You trip over something else again, go down to your knees, you come up, you can't see anything, you're trying to make your way there. What's your total movement?
30.
30, so are you burning both to go 60? Because it'd be, you made it 10 feet, you fell down again, that's 15 feet burned, you've got 5 feet of movement left.
Yeah, I guess I'll burn the sprint.
Okay. You make it to the very edge of the cloud field, and you're actually, like, if the door is here, you're off to the right.
Okay. So I'm
And you
just
can
to the
see,
right of the door.
yeah, you can see the wall goes to the left, and then it goes back into the darkness, and you're pretty sure that's where the exit is. So
Okay.
the exit is in darkness. And that's your move.
Yeah, that's my movement. And I use my action to sprint, so I guess that's my turn.
Okay. Mythilus, you are outside the field on the west side of the... You see, from your vantage point, you would have seen Dryzen come out closer towards the door, but still not at the door.
And I heard Zakusu yelling, he's over here.
He's outside, is what he yelled. Yeah. He's outside and he's invisible.
I will start chucking that way.
Okay. Make me an athletics or acrobatics check. Okay, and I assume you're using a bonus action to dash?
Yeah.
Okay. So you managed to parkour your way over people, across tables, whatever you need to do, and 60 feet, so you're going to go there. So you will need your bonus action dash 60 and then 30. So that puts you just outside. 90 feet of movement puts you just outside. You've made it through the door. You are just outside the field. You see Zakusu probably about 20 feet in front of you.
Swinging at air.
Yeah, looks like it.
I'm gonna ask him if he got
Yep.
him.
Nope. He's quick and gone.
I had to use my action and bonus action. That's all I got.
No,
Are
you
you able
didn't.
to
Use your
track him?
movement and bonus action.
Are you able to track him magically like you did the necromancer?
For spells, I would detect magic detect him.
What's the time on detect magic? I think it's
Casting time is 1 action.
you can definitely try.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's see. Give me 1 second. So that's a horrible description. It says you sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. But you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic. I'm going to say within 30 feet of you, you do not detect magic at this point. Other than, do you have anything magic on you, Zakusu? No. So.
Nope, I really don't.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nope. So you do not sense anything within 30 feet of you.
Okay.
And now you have used all of your actions and movement and good stuff. Dad Shuffle Orwin.
Did I hear Red say anything back, or